Welcome, Weirdos at Home. We're back. It is Wednesday afternoon. We have a very special guest today.
We do.
Okay.
My name is Sam Slade. This is Tara Brown. This is Weirdos at Home. Today we have a very talented dude, jack of all trades, if you will, the Pinfall Wizard himself.
Woo!
You may know him from The Walking Dead, Walker on
Walker.
CW. And you'll see him in Love and Death later this fall. He's currently in the AAPW Wrestling League. It's Steve O Reno himself.
Yay!
Pinfall Wizard is here to grace your pod.
Which, by the way, I had the pleasure of learning wrestling moves from him.
Yeah.
At his apartment one day after we were talking to Walker. And
I was like, I do not remember doing moves on a Walker set. I was like, when did that happen? But yeah, I was like, I got banged in the head too many times to remember that. But yeah, the apartment.
Yeah, Sam came home and he was all bruised up, and he's like, "Yeah, we were doing."
I had no actual bruise. I was very sore.
Moves in your pool at your apartment?
No, it was in the living room.
Oh, and the living room of your apartment.
Yes.
So hell yeah.
Gave him a little intro to my intro to wrestling, which was living room wrestling. When I was growing up,
he did say that you were like, he could tell immediately how professional you were, how knowledgeable you were. He's like, he's a perfect coach.
Well, and I'll say this: when I first met him on the set of Walker, I kind of butted into his conversation. He was talking to another buddy of his that is also involved in wrestling. I was like, "You guys say something about wrestling?"
Oh, you're talking about wrestling? That's me though.
And that's kind of how it started. And then we made history at the chili cook-off together as the two goobers behind Walker, being like, "Oh shit!"
Goober number 1 and Goober number 2.
That's right. I can't believe what's her name? Davidson won the fucking chili cook-off.
We're still reeling from it.
I couldn't. It hit me way later that the name of the chili was the Barn Burner, and I was like,
because of the barn.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura's
car. Yeah.
Well, hey, Steve, you're a busy guy. You're an actor, you're a wrestler, you're a stunt man. Do you want to do this first?
Keep going.
What is the most challenging for you as far as is wrestling easier? Is acting easier? I mean, what is the one gig that you show up and you're like, oh man, I gotta raise my game?
Well, I will take the nod as a stuntman. However, I think I don't know if I officially qualify as a stuntman. I haven't really done any like official stunt work per se. I think you could consider 13 years of wrestling kind of stunt work, live performing stunts.
And you don't play around. If you want to, I mean, anybody get online. If you can, there's a lot of video. Mm-hmm. I posted some on my Instagram.
Yeah.
He's got a cool fireball move he has. It's a legit fireball that he throws at the guy. I had never seen anything
legit
like it.
Fire. I mean, it's not like some foreign objects. It's magic. So it's not like the ref can take it away from me. So
you're the Pinfall Wizard.
But yeah, I did give Sam a little intro to my intro to wrestling because when I was a kid, we couldn't have backyard wrestling. That made too much noise and we would get in too much trouble. So we had to stick to the living room wrestling once the parents went to sleep. Right. Just with the futon cushions and couch cushions.
Right. And Steve-O, you would have think I would have learned my lesson from kindergarten with Neil Kezar when I busted my chin trying to give him the elbow off of the futon.
Well, isn't that funny? Because I have a scar on my chin from a diving headbutt off the couch.
When you were a little kid?
Yep.
Nice.
Oh.
Very nice.
The whole trying to dive onto a friend on the coffee table. The friend moves.
And fell for the oldest trick in the book. Just
right.
I just remember Miss Kezar showing up with a creamsicle and an ice pack. You're like, please don't make a big deal out of it.
She's like,
so we would only have like 2 top ropes, and those were like the 2 corners of the couch. Mm-hmm. But we didn't do any top rope stuff yet. That's for a later class. But
I need my lower body ready. I was earlier today. I was watching Beyond the Mat, probably my favorite wrestling documentary in history.
I can only watch that every so often. It kind of
It's not fun.
Yeah, it's not a fun watch.
You know what I love when Vince McMahon is being like completely trolling this kid, Tara. This guy comes in, he wants to try out for WWE, and he's got sideburns that look, they don't go down chin strap, sideburns that then go into a mustache, but no chin. And then a backwards hat like here, but it's the hair sticking out of it, bleach blonde. And Vince, what do you do special that I can make money off of? The guy's like, I can puke on demand. So your name is Puke. Pulls out a trash can.
You can puke in this trash can.
Vince McMahon may be taking advantage of people. I'm not sure. Steve O, your thoughts?
Hot take.
Just the some things have changed, some things have stayed the same in wrestling.
You've made the point, Tara, recently that they're going very more with people of color, women, the WWE. I mean, with the NBC deal.
Well,
with
so here's
A&E
the
deal.
thing for everyone watching, and for Steve O Reno, Pinball Wizard,
Thank you.
Mr. Pinball Wizard. I never watched wrestling growing up, ever.
I'm
Like,
surprised
I
your
was
dad was
aware of
into
it. It just wasn't a part of like. I was pretty much an only child. I have an older sister, but like she wasn't into it either.
She was out of the house,
And she
right?
was out of the house by the time I was like 8 years old. So I didn't have any friends that watched it really either. So no clue, clueless up until
You were aware of Hulk Hogan.
like, yeah, later when I was in like my 20s and 30s, like I remember
Rock
like
caught
friends
John Cena
were
caught
into
your
it, but not even like watching it on TV. So when you move, or when we got together, and especially when you moved in, I was just
right there.
like enrolled in the school of WWE very quickly. And especially when Peacock launched, it has all the old documentaries and all those
New
old shows and wrestling matches. So I got like a what's it called when you go to the country and you're immersion? I got immersion education
study abroad
in wrestling, and now I'm a huge fan. And
well, so
I don't know. I don't know much about like the historical aspects, but from what I could see, Peacock is now streaming. Is it WrestleMania?
Well, all the paper,
pretty much
all
they're doing all the events.
And my new girl that I'm throwing all my support, Bianca Belair, love her.
But she made the point that they're pushing.
Yeah, so like the women they got their own like highlight match at WrestleMania, headlining.
Right.
And Dewdrop, love her. It's my own Dewdrop tonight.
Okay.
And so yeah, like it just seems like there's a shift. And I don't know if that's Stephanie McMahon. I don't know if it's Triple H. Like,
what do you think, Steve-O?
If it's wokeness in general,
just
survive
demand, like the demand for the success of the independent women. Like it started to become too much for WWE to ignore. I think it was truly right around the time they call them the Four Horsewomen. And it was Becky Lynch, it was Bayley, and Sasha, I believe. And I'm not going to say it was those four alone, but it was like the year that they were brought up to the main roster. That's when everybody's game stepped up, and that's when everybody like Impact
evolved to some extent, right?
Right. And AEW was just starting to become a thing.
Can you fill in the folks, Steve, who aren't familiar with AEW? Everybody knows WWE.
Well, I mean, if for those of your viewers who are wrestling fans, they'll probably know AEW. It's probably going on right now. It's the second biggest probably company on TV.
Is that Chris Jericho?
Yeah, that's Jericho. That's Young Bucks.
They've got some big names though, hasn't Jericho?
Yeah,
He's brought some guys over.
The WWE guys that have crossed over, like Bryan Danielson and John Moxley, who you would know as Dean Ambrose.
What about CM Punk?
CM Punk is there.
There you go, Chicago man.
I mean, it's changing every week, so I'm trying my best to like keep up.
Right, sure. All right, Tara's one of Tara's best friend's husband crazy into wrestling, has a Randy Savage Cincinnati Reds rookie card, all clean shaven. And then
didn't you post a picture of that recently? Or
yeah,
something?
I mean, at some point, yeah, I love that picture. But
you did. Someone else I know posted a picture of it.
But you asked like, hey, you still watching wrestling? We're getting into. He's like, no, the stories suck these days. The storylines are shit.
But honestly, that's kind of like people don't realize that's what made wrestling
right.
That's what drew all those people in. That's what made it so fun to watch, was because Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. I just watched like 2 days ago the WrestleMania that they wrestled at.
So they broke up?
Well, it was the Mania where they wrestled for the title, but they do a lot better job of it now. Like they usually try to plant seeds of stories at like after WrestleMania to lead up to next WrestleMania. But back then, that story had a 2-year build where they were teaming up for the
Mega Power.
It started with Hogan getting screwed out of the title,
right?
And then had this big tournament for the title where Macho Man won, and then they became friends and they became the Mega Power. Then they had a whole year of just like dominating.
And then somehow Hulk ended up, I think, don't you think to some extent reality blurred through the show where Hulk Hogan's standing up for Miss Elizabeth, but he's also standing up for her in real life, kind of?
Well, yeah, and it kind of blurred the lines there because wrestling had its characters and its storylines and stuff, but I don't think they had crossed into like, oh, wow, there's something going on here with this relationship, or like that was the first time they kind of did something relatable to the fan, a relatable
love triangle, right?
Of a guy getting jealous of his friend.
Whose house? Betty Gore's house.
Yeah. So exactly.
But you always rub in the fact that that when they get married at WrestleMania or at SummerSlam, they've been divorced for like 7 years.
Yeah. We watched Dark Side of the Ring.
Or A&E, maybe.
That's kind of how he introduced me.
I dropped that I'm going to be in the new tune in for the new season of Dark Side of the Ring.
Are you playing X-Pac?
Yes! How did you not see that already?
No, I haven't seen the episode. I saw the photo. You told me about the photo, but I asked what it was for, and at the time on the set of Walker on the CW, you said it was you were like, you'll find out. All right, I'll pull up the picture to show it. I'll show you the picture. We'll post it.
First I'm hearing.
No, I had no idea. That was a fucking Halloween costume, Steve.
A Halloween costume with that like lighting.
It's identical to him.
With the lighting and with the professional rain. You think I just like rented all that out?
No. What I'm telling you is he didn't give me any info.
He's looking at that picture. He's like,
right.
I was really dedicated.
I asked him. I thought it was Halloween. I literally go, "What's it for?" You're like, "You'll find out.
I don't know.
Like, hey, Steve, we need you on set.
I don't know what the Hollywood or the acting equivalent of kayfabe is, but I kayfabed him.
Okay, so explain to the kids watching who don't know what kayfabe is.
I guess it's 2022. It's safe to explain what kayfabe is. Kayfabe is making it now that I'm
it's keeping the behind the scenes, right?
The secrets of wrestling inside of wrestling. I guess something that'll help explain it easier is kind of explaining what a mark is, because a mark doesn't.
I can't tell. Is that X-Pac or is that Steve O Reno?
I mean, what's funny is that those tights that I have are my Green Lantern tights. If you can see, it's like my name with Steve O Reno in the logo, but they had this green tape, and I taped over my name. So that
perfect DX,
as opposed to his X tights, I have O tights.
Nice.
So tell can you say anything about the episode?
I mean, I was trying to find the acting equivalent of kayfabe, because that's basically what I did.
You don't want to say anything.
I was under the
is the episode about DX or is it about?
It's about China and X-Pac.
Okay, they were married before X-Pac and Stephanie.
Very cool.
I'm not even sure if it's going to be called China and X-Pac, but it's basically it's centered around China and the story of
They're
China.
gonna come up with some like illusionary title, just like they always do.
Something witty.
Yeah, that's so cool though. I had no idea.
Man,
Sam did not tell me that.
I
And I apologize. I'm surprised that I kept that from you for so long.
We got a genuine reaction here on.
They were. They told me, you can post pictures, just don't say what it is. So that's why I never tagged any. That's why I never tagged them in it. I never.
No, you didn't say anything about it. I swear I thought it was Halloween.
Well, he's
right.
Professional.
Yeah, you mean like one of these? Not like one of these guys who just post everything they're doing on set.
Yeah.
Who does?
I don't do that.
That.
So you're wearing a Shawn Michaels shirt.
Oh, so you just have balls. That's the only thing.
My Instagram's private. I gotta accept you. I gotta let you into the club.
Yeah.
That's like the Copa. So you're wearing a Shawn Michaels shirt.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
So when I was living abroad in WWE during the pandemic, you introduced me to a lot. Before, when we first met and started hanging out, he was like, "Yeah, I'm into wrestling."
I didn't open with, "Yeah, I'm into wrestling."
He asked me, like, "Who's your
take on wrestling?"
Yeah, he was very apprehensive about it. Like, I think he thought I would think it was stupid or judge him in any way. But I mean, I have no beef with wrestling. I didn't then. It just never was something I was exposed to.
I'm surprised your dad never got into it.
No.
He's a real athlete.
I don't know why he wouldn't have gotten into wrestling. I think maybe he wasn't exposed to it either, really.
Yeah.
Because I think it was so underground when he was in his 20s and 30s.
Well,
it wasn't. Older, yeah, I have an old dad, or had an old dad.
Old mom, currently.
Old mom currently. Old dad is no more. But
Chief.
He I think when he was in his 20s and 30s, wrestling was still such an underground,
regional
word of mouth thing. And then by the time it got big, he was just this older crotchety dad.
He's going to softball.
Yeah. So it wasn't something that was just in our family. But Sam asked me, who's your favorite wrestler, since you know about it? And I was like, Andre the Giant, I guess. I don't know. I'd seen
he's pretty good.
I'd seen Princess Bride. I knew of him. I think I was just in my head, I was trying to be cool. So I was like, don't say Hulk Hogan, because everyone says Hulk Hogan. So try to do a deep cut and impress him. And then when I did, he was like, "Oh, do you remember the match such and such and such?" And I'm like, fuck, no. So he just started showing me so much YouTube videos.
Yeah, at one point you accused me of I should teach a class at ACC.
Yeah, and then at one point he showed me Shawn Michaels videos.
You go, who's that? Who
and I'm like, who is this? I
young fella with the mullet.
Not only is he a looker, but his persona, his outfits.
There you go. That's that.
Yeah, he just is my type of guy. I'm a huge. This is gonna sound weird, people. I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan, and he gives me hard Gaga vibes. The outfits,
the
performance levels, and
the flash, the sizzle,
the pizzazz, and
pizzazz.
So, the video of him descending from the rafters in that all white cowboy outfit, I was like, oh, this is it. Are we in a Madonna concert? What's going on? So he's my fave, and the fact that he's still in it, still doing it. He's a local boy from Texas, so I just fell in love. Basically,
but you're in love with The Rock and Stone Cold too.
Yeah,
those are your two. Those are your three wrestling uncles.
I love Stone Cold's podcast and his reality show.
Is it the Tournament of Champions or whatever?
It's Broken Skull Challenge.
I'll tell you something right now.
Just switch the Rock with the Undertaker, so you can have three favorite Texas wrestlers.
There you go.
I've got a funny story for you, Steve O, and I can't believe I've never told you this. 2009, I'm getting ready. I'm trying to bulk up before I move away to Chicago, because I know I'm going to go get SNL. So I'm trying to get all shredded. And I'm at Lifetime Gym in South Austin, and I look up in the mirror, make eye contact. That weird diagonal across the gym eye contact you make just looking around. Guy had long hair, little kind of almost Tara's length. It was already wet. He had two different color eyes. He's curling 100 in both arms. and I was like, where do I know him from? And it was all it was him.
30 maybe.
It was the Undertaker, and I realized it because he burned a hole through my skull with his 2 different color eyes.
You knew him from like WrestleManias 10 through 35.
Do you know that he had the longest? Is it still hold up the longest run in WrestleMania?
Well, I mean, it's still the longest run, but he's no longer undefeated.
What happened?
Brock.
That's right. I don't think we root for Brock Lesnar. Right?
We're not a Brock Lesnar household.
I mean, I enjoy the current fun-loving Brock, but I'm never a fan when one guy is like on top for too long. Like I like, people changing it up. I like.
Is he a good guy now?
I'll be honest, I'm not quite caught up.
You're like, I'm busy doing it to watch.
Yeah. And also, like, you have to have Peacock, you have to have the AEW, you have to have the Impact Network, you have to have the New Japan Wrestling Network to catch up with everything.
Right.
I'm trying to do it, and I can't really. I'll be real, I can't really afford all that right now.
Of course, no one can. That's the problem with the streaming world. It's something you pointed out. By the way, I can't out you enough how much you were all in on that pay-per-view you watched on. Or I guess not
my God, my
Peacock.
first WrestleMania ever.
Was it WrestleMania?
Ever.
No, wait. Steve was at that WrestleMania.
I don't know if y'all
can.
Well.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay, because I'm trying to communicate and I don't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sam talks over people frequently.
No, I just haven't. I'm just not sure if y'all were able to hear me or not.
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
What was your question?
Oh, I mean, I wanted to go back.
Yeah.
Just because we had kind of off track for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't want to forget about explaining kayfabe and what exactly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I didn't want to leave off on that. But a mark, you would say, is someone who doesn't understand the business. A mark can be someone in wrestling who doesn't understand how it's supposed to go or understands that the title is a symbol. It's a business. It's not
decision.
A real title.
Yeah, it's a casting decision. Yeah.
Right. Knowing that the Undertaker is not really magical. Understanding that only Steve O Reno is magical.
Yeah.
That's understanding kayfabe is realizing what's real, what's not, what's part of the business, what part is to kind of lead you astray and let you think something else to hook you in to buy pay-per-view.
Which brings us to the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
The ultimate kayfabe argument, right?
I mean, yeah, people still argue that that's
break that down for me, Steve, for the amateur.
No one's honestly gonna know.
No one will ever know.
I mean, look,
that's Vince McMahon shutting it down right there.
Dude, yes, absolutely. I made the mistake of not checking my battery level before I started.
This fucker's walking around like we're backstage at Raw.
Yes.
I guess
guys, don't tell anybody. I got the title. I got the title on tape. Exclusive. Actually, I was going to show you guys. This is the
AAPW title.
This is the Anarchy Championship Wrestling title. If you can see the Anarchy in there. Currently inactive. ACW was a company that I was very active in for 6 or 7 years, and unfortunately they had stopped running due to COVID, but I had won the championship belt the January right before COVID. And we had I had a February title defense, and then it was I had one title defense and that was it.
Wait, let me get this straight. Let me put this together. So Steve O rose to the top of this whole league, but it was ripped out from under him due to Donald Trump's incompetency handling the pandemic.
So
Thanks,
you could
Trump.
say that Donald Trump like
It always
came
comes back to Trump with wrestling.
He
on
owes
the
me a
WWE
rematch.
to just like wreak havoc once again.
Well, did you just see? Well, Hulk Hogan was just doing a promo from WrestleMania, going, "I'm like Donald Trump, brother."
It's
He owes me my rematch.
whoop.
But yeah, it's I've just been kind of keeping it safe till then. I know that another individual had bought the rights to Anarchy, so this belt is no longer mine.
So wait, do you have to give that belt back to somebody?
Yeah, I'll be vacating this title.
Don't fucking give it back.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what kind of
What the consequences
shenanigans
are?
like into. Yeah, I mean this is the kind of stuff that
It's why
the
they play
legends
the
are made
game.
of,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like holding the title up. But that's not how I fly. Like I'm just
No. Listen,
like
man,
I always just always try to keep it professional.
If I know my current information, he's Liam Walker's favorite barista.
Should be. And it's well, little does he know I slipped something in his coffee because he was talking trash about me smelling like cigarettes at the chili cook-off.
He said that?
Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
No, he was so the third day of that filming, he had to put the chili apron back on.
Right.
And I pretty sure I had not smoked a cigarette.
You had it.
Up
Because
until
I was smoking on set. You were.
Right. Well, I had one like maybe before I got into holding, like before I checked in.
Hours.
Right. Hours before this. And so I'm standing like kind of in a small circle with Liam and Jared. I say Liam.
Jared
What's
and
his
I would say Liam and Cordy.
Yeah, Liam and Cordy. And I think he's talking about the apron because he goes, gosh, I can just smell it all over the building. And I was like, just instinctively not thinking, just off the top of my head, I'm like, oh, the chili, right? Because it's like, you got to put that chili back on. You got to put the apron back on. And he looks at Jared and he goes, yeah, smells like cigarettes.
Oh, dude.
And I was like, not even Jared really acknowledged it.
No,
but
Jared don't play that shit.
Because Jared,
Yeah,
I can totally see puff cheaters on the weekends. I can.
Just
yeah. Oh.
So there's my interaction, and then I got to serve him coffee.
Yeah, I don't want to blow up our
But I
spot.
did make him laugh. I did make him laugh at the coffee shop.
There you go, as a barista.
He said I was supposed to hand him this like coffee for him, and then they make this like super fancy swirly vanilla caramel thing for his dad. And like they had to make it like 5 times just so it was like all fancy and had that whipped cream on it.
What's his name who plays one? I don't care.
Yeah. He's like, what the hell is this shit? Yeah. And then eventually, God, why am I
Blanking out.
blanking on his name? I'll just keep calling him fucking Liam.
Just call him Liam. It's because it's such an amazing production to be a part of, and we're making such high art when we're there on that set that it's like hard to wrap your head around when you get off of it.
Right. It's like we're still like I can call Cordy anytime I want because he's there for me.
Until he flies his car off of a ramp.
Okay.
But anyway, so Liam's like, are we in some kind of like business deal with this coffee? Are we like promoting this coffee? What's the deal? And I just go, Texas whiskey coffee. He's like,
yeah,
Texas whiskey coffee. I like it. And then he went back to his table. He went back to his table and told the what's his name?
Bill?
Dad.
Bonham.
Yeah. He's like, Texas whiskey coffee, right? Texas, he stole my joke.
He fucking stole your joke.
Yeah. So I slipped a cigarette butt in his coffee.
Nice.
One time he was having a real deep conversation with his Asian boyfriend, and I turned on Galacta. I turned on the video game. I didn't know it was plugged in. I was like, And anyway,
Dude, they'll get at somebody for that every time. You would think they would learn to unplug the damn thing.
For real. What I love is that when we did the chili cook-off thing, we're sitting
Take
there.
the sound box out.
Somehow the two of us are there right behind Jared tasting the dumb chili that was like room temperature. The Bonham, Walker's dad, is right there next to Steve. I'll be like, well, what do you think, man? I don't know. Like for the whole rest of the scene. That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, the director told me not to move from that spot. Like they had put that.
I mean, we did snake that spot though.
Yeah. Well, they told us that was a moment where they said, everybody just fill in. And I looked down, saw a table marked Walker, like I saw the judges table and just walked right to that spot. And then the director went around in a circle, moving people. And he looked right at me and he's like, you're good there. So I was like, I ain't moving.
And you left out the part where you grabbed my hand and held it all the way just walking behind that table.
Well, it's behind Jared's head. You can't see it.
Oh, sure. If you can.
My hand's in your back pocket.
Well, while he's trying the chili, me and Steve are holding hands. You can't tell.
Guys, if you want to check this moment out that they're describing, just go to Sam's Facebook page. It's his cover.
Click the link.
Hey, I'd like to send the traffic to the CW app. It's free.
Or check out Sam's Facebook cover photo.
That's what I said.
I thought you were providing a link to the clip, to the video.
No.
I was trying to.
No one would go to that link.
So just go to a cover photo.
At least if it's Sam's cover photo, we can like force it down people's throats, like the other one is.
Now here's what I was trying to get to. It turns out both of you have the biggest. Come back around to what you were saying with this little number. You guys are both enormous Shawn Michaels fans.
That's right.
I was gonna say, like, for not being like totally from childhood into wrestling, like that is a damn good Shawn Michaels shirt.
Yeah.
And like I approve.
I'm not your sexy boy.
Oh yeah, the theme song is my favorite.
I mean, I didn't think about it when I put the hat on. This is kind of my Shawn Michaels hat. I mainly wanted to wear this because they would never let me wear a hat on Walker. Man. They would never, ever, ever let me wear this on Walker.
He needs that with my boots, my American flag boots.
That's right.
But they did love it on I don't know if you had worked any bit on that Moonrise movie that Brock Allen was what do you call it, casting for?
Yeah, I guess I didn't get the call, Steve.
Oh, well. You were too busy rangering.
Okay, or lawyer.
But it was like from what I gather, it's a like a country and western themed romance / comedy kind of movie.
Oh, fuck, I'm perfect for this fucking movie.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
And we had to. It was.
You heard it here first, Brock Allen. We're coming for you.
No. I'd like to say on behalf of Steve and I, Brock Allen, we love you.
I mean, there's no question.
Oh, you're the best. Brock and Alan, both you ladies. And I love the time Steve O was late and called and was like, Mr. Brock told me.
Yeah, and I got corrected real quick.
Dude, I've been telling that story for weeks around here.
Really?
Where he goes, he shows, called whoever. Did you call somebody? He's like, yeah, I called. Who'd you talk to? Mr. Brock.
No, I
Mr.
said
Allen. They're both women.
I said, Mr. Brock and Mr. Allen need to empty their phone boxes, their mailboxes, because it was all full. And they're like, they're both women. I was like, well, I'm not assuming the men don't answer the phones for them. I'm not assuming that the misters aren't there to take their calls.
I don't know. Anyways, I want to get on the Shawn Michaels thing. Is he truly the reason why you got into wrestling?
Yeah, the Brett, the old winning the title from Brett, and him sitting in the ring, and the infamous. Well, this was a WrestleMania when Shawn Michaels first won the title, and I later discovered that this was all kind of orchestrated on purpose. But Shawn Michaels is sitting there, and Vince McMahon says the boyhood dream has come true, and I got a poster of that up on my wall with that catchphrase, and that is what like drove me to be a wrestler.
So
Like, I mean,
So cool.
I wanted to, when I was a little kid, I think I wasn't sure which one was first, but I think at first I wanted to be a professional NBA player, professional basketball player. And then after that, I was like, no, I think I want to be an actor. I want to be in movies. I want to be a movie star. And then I think I decided, I think I can learn to play, I think I can sing or play guitar, or I think I want to be like a musician or a rock star or something. I definitely want to be like in the spotlight in front of cameras. And then I discovered wrestling, and it was just all of that kind of wrapped into one.
I got
like athleticism, showmanship.
That's right.
Character.
You gotta be an entertainer.
I mean, every match, I consider it going out and telling a story in a little mini movie. So
here's what I want to ask you. Two questions. One, did you play sports in school?
Growing up throughout, from elementary school, whether
where the fuck did you get off thinking you're gonna be an NBA player? Just kidding.
Because I love the Rockets.
Yeah, but did you? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I played basketball.
Okay, check ball.
Yeah, I got away with it, because I always had a spot on the team because I was one of the 2 or 3 tallest guys
and strongest.
I tried working it out. Yeah, in baseball, I was always outfield.
Who's a baseball player?
Yeah,
you're
but like I did everything as a kid, like swimming, baseball. Not necessarily football. There wasn't really football up until high school for me.
Right.
But I did every other soccer. I did them all.
I'm so sorry you had to do soccer.
What's up?
I'm so sorry you had to do soccer.
It wasn't my favorite. I wasn't like I definitely began to not appreciate soccer the older I got. Just like, man, this is a lot of running and cleats.
Running.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like wrestling training. It's not a lot of cardio, but just like, yeah.
So you were an athlete. You're playing all these different sports. Did you do theater at all? You must have done theater.
Yes, absolutely.
So you doing sports, doing theater.
Not a lot of theater in high school, but like
in high school.
This is what I was talking about. Like, this is when I was a kid, like trying to figure out my dream and what I wanted to do. Like, oh yeah, for sure. Took some acting classes. And I was just thinking about this the other day, like all the kids in the older acting classes, they got to do these cool plays like the Pirates of Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of Penzance. Pirates of Penzance was one. And like I saw all the older kids doing like all the cool productions, like Christmas Story and or Christmas Carol. Christmas Story would be a fun play too.
I think so too.
Right?
Yeah. But
starring Shawn Michaels as
the bully. But then I would sign up and we did all these like, they were not centered for boys. They were just kind of skits about rabbits and rainbows.
Right?
And it was not fun. And that was the point where like, I didn't have much of a voice as a kid. So I expressed that I didn't want to be in those. And it was like, you've already started. So you can't quit.
Steve, I completely get you. I'm playing all these sports. I'm trying to do theater. It gets real controversial. Do I have enough time to attend practice and rehearsal? But I have a voice at the time where people call the house, and I pick up the house phone and they're like, "Hi, Kelly." It's my mom. Like, "Hey, Kelly, how are you?" And I'm like, "This isn't Kelly. This is Al. Get her." But the plays I did do, it was Beauty and the Beast and DuckTales and Bobby Socks, which is a knockoff of Grease. So they took the hits.
That sounds amazing. That sounds infinitely better than any of the plays I had.
What'd you do? Midsummer Night's Dream?
No, it was like it wasn't even like any of these stories. It was just like a collection of short stories that were all these like little kid tales.
Variety show.
Yeah, but it was like
Look, I'll tell you right now, Steve-O, hey,
It was like SNL
DuckTales and
Muppet
Bobby
Babies.
Socks is not as amazing as it sounds, okay? I mean, I know it sounds like Hollywood, but it wasn't.
It was Saturday Night Live with Muppet Babies.
You know, I'd be willing to watch that after this last year of SNL.
Yeah.
Your Terry Brown, your thoughts on any of this at all, sitting here kicking your feet?
I was never into theater in high
Theater?
school. I did play sports.
You sound like this is the
I know. I just didn't understand the theater kids, but I do now, I feel, as I've gotten older and
How so?
wiser. Talk about the bravest kids in school. Like, really not giving a fuck about what people think of y'all and just doing what you love, doing you. And so
also
now,
in the 90s.
I would like to think, like, I haven't been in high school in 20 years, so.
What? You told me you were 14.
I can only imagine, like, I bet when you're a theater kid now, you probably get a lot of, like, you know,
Whoa.
respect around school these
Really? You think
days.
so?
Yeah. With these, like, younger, more artistic, like, emotional, intelligent children. Because, I mean,
I think Steve and I were from that
high
novelty
school in the
place.
80s and 90s must have been rough. High school in the mid 2000s was rough.
It was rough enough.
rough
I
enough.
think, you know, the theater kids are, you know, they're on the outside until their plays come out. And
But-
then they're
Yes.
cool for
But Steve,
For a few weeks.
we were the athletes that went into theater. So we had that whole other thing.
We didn't have that at my school. Like, it was very, like, you
What?
do this
Yeah, one or
or
the
you
other.
do this. There
Well,
wasn't a
not
lot
I
of-
didn't
everybody,
even
not
attempt
everybody's
to-
personal.
I mean, acting in high school was like another level at my high school. Like there was no way I could even
Really?
like
Ah,
commit to
wow.
those. It was I had a pretty decent you know, theater department. And yeah, I was trying to like be friends with everybody, but I don't think I was like I could never fully engage with the theater kids or the, you know,
Who can?
band kids or all that because I was never like fully into all that.
What? You know what blows my mind, Steve, is the fact that when you're on sets these days, there's nobody who is that aloof or awkward as the theater kids were.
Yeah.
You know, like there's nobody who's all like it's all just hey, what's up, man? Yo, you okay? Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, there was a lot of interesting characters on Love and Death
Yeah.
From what I hear, yeah.
I'll tell you
and
what,
on Fear. I mean,
Fear,
did
Fear
I
the
ever tell
Walking
you that-
Dead is what
yes,
you were referring to.
Fear the Walking Dead. Did I tell you that somebody poured water in my shoe?
No.
What? Shit.
Yeah. I mean, I won't. I'll try not to give too much backstory, but there was this one individual who everybody knew as a very like kind of negative, pessimistic, not
Rob
very.
Huey, you
welcoming-
bastard.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I don't even think I met him till, you know, way later. But yeah.
So somebody
Just not a
moved your shoe.
very known as not a nice person, and gosh, another situation where cigarettes came into play.
Oh my
But I knew
God.
she wasn't a fan of you know, smoking, and we went outside. Me and Steve Williams. I don't know if
Yeah.
you knew him. The other Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Steve 2, and he's Steve 1.
Yeah.
Um,
You're always Steve One, baby.
Well, in your heart.
And
But
in
of
the media
people,
guy.
I don't know. But sure enough, me and him go out to smoke a cigarette, and when we come back, we find Ron, another one of our zombie compatriots
Oh,
tells
you
us
guys
that,
all in
like,
zombie makeup at the time?
I think they usually gave us a like wardrobe, and I never got the makeup
Really?
per se. I always just had like a pullover mask.
Would you do
But
the
some of
green?
those guys like had to get there and like hours before I did so they could sit in the chair and get makeup done. I don't think either of us, I think both of us were in just kind of the regular wardrobe with the
Just chilling,
pullover
smoking a
mask.
cigarette as zombies.
But-
Oh,
Yeah, sometimes you could catch a glimpse of us like two walkers just puffing. But what's it called? Like we found out later that apparently we were talking trash about one of our friends outside while we were smoking cigarettes. And then this guy, like, we'll call I guess it's safe to include names that aren't the names of the individual, but
whatever, call it whatever.
Our friend Ron approached us and was like, "Okay, you I heard that y'all were talking trash." I'm like not in a like confrontational, but yeah, just kind of like in a laughing way. He was like, "Hey, so apparently y'all were saying something." And we're like, "Ron, like we would thought you would know that was bullshit and that like." And he's like, "Yeah, I knew better. I just wanted to talk to y'all about it and see what's up." And then I get back to we get back to holding later, and just side note, they had taken a few of the walkers offset to change costumes because they wanted to shoot some of them as just like dead bodies, like take pictures, still shots and stuff. So some of us stayed on set and some of us left to change and go back to holding. I was one of the ones that stayed on set. I didn't go change. But when I finally went back to holding for lunch or whatever it was, my shoes are on the table because there's a history of ants in holding.
Wait, are these the shoes you wore to set?
This is the shoes, my personal shoes.
Yeah, okay.
That I wore there are sitting on the table. I go to pick one up and I empty it out, and there has been an entire cup of water poured into my shoe. And before I react or anything, I look up to make sure there's no leaks in the tent. I'm looking around to see if there's any drinks that have been spilled on the table. Nothing. There is nothing. It is completely dry. There is no puddle. There's no spilled cups. There's no nothing. And I was like, somebody poured water in my effing shoe. Like,
you can say fuck. It's a podcast.
This is bullshit. Yeah. I've just been not sure up until the moment. So fuck it. I was like, who the fuck put water in my shoe? And then immediately, like, I didn't even have to get that far. I was just like, I dumped the water out of my shoe, and the people around me said it for me. I didn't even have to say anything. They were like, this is fucked up. Somebody pour water in your shoe. Who the fuck? How the fuck is this? And the one person that I suspected is sitting there with her arms crossed, with her hands folded, looking down at her phone or whatever. And I'm like, I said out loud, well, that's what I get for talking shit about Ron, I guess. Don't mess with Ron, everybody. You know.
Oh
you had a question halfway through that.
Whoever did that, which it sounds like you know who it was. I can just picture that moment where they were like, I'm gonna get this asshole burned.
And it was like,
and it's so lame. Like,
that's your. And it's like, it took me. I was over it. 5 minutes later, and then and then I laughed. I was like, "Holy shit! Like, you dumped water in my shoe? Wow!" Like, I laughed all the way home. Like,
last night in the storm,
unreal.
I smoked cigarettes, sat down in a puddle of water in that camping chair.
Yeah.
And I set my rain pants home.
He did.
Jesus.
Terry, you had a question. You were wondering how real, like, if it's how choreographed wrestling is these days. Like the way we hear, like, a move number 34.
Yeah.
Like move number.
Well, that was you that told me that. So.
Well, no, we saw it on the Andre.
Basically, this is my.
Which one of you called wrestling fake? Huh?
This is my oracle. So basically, whatever he's told me is what I know. So
no, I mean, you never take my advice.
He told me that it was all rehearsed.
I didn't say that. I never said that.
That's what I heard.
I mean, every wrestler is different. There are wrestlers out there that practice and rehearse every movement for a week or whatever. I mean, every wrestler is different. There was guys like Shawn Michaels. A lot of times, I'm sure, probably didn't talk about anything before they went there.
That's so gangster.
I think about that a lot when I try to look at wrestling through kind of different eyes when I study it. I mean, I study wrestling, like I study it like because it's my career. It's my focus, my passion. And I look at one of the big things I look at is why would they hire that person, or why would they hire that person? Like, I learned the most, I think, from watching somebody that I don't think is good, and being like, why did Vince McMahon hire them?
Yeah.
What did Triple H see in them?
Right.
Oh, it's because he can cut a great promo.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because, oh yeah, that's what she looks like in a bikini. Oh, that's what oh, he can do a triple backflip.
Right.
And he weighs 300 pounds. Holy shit. Yeah. Oh, that's, you know.
What's your thing?
So, yeah, I'm just like looking at all different aspects of like how at the people that are successful, whether I like them or not. And
you gotta study the greats. You gotta study the guys in the league.
Absolutely.
But as far as like choreographing and things like that, when I first started out, I was very big on planning every part of the match, beginning, middle, end, taking notes, you know, up until the match.
That old story where Randy Savage calls Ricky Steamboat in the middle of the night before, he's like, number 35 through 48. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't understand like how they did that. Like, that still blows my mind.
And they did like 85 moves, like a dance.
Yeah. I mean, to me, my matches, I mean, and this has been 13 years of thinking about not just, I got it figured out. I'm just going to keep doing this forever and I don't need to change a damn thing. This is from like constantly trying to
evolve,
change my psychology. And Shawn Michaels himself, on his like return run, when he came back in the mid 2000s to like, I wasn't exactly sure the date, but when he came back many years after for like the later part of his career.
Well, to be honest, Steve O, it was 2006 with a DX return.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Actually, it was summer of 97. You have those guys. But he said, like, this is old, retired, then returning to wrestling. Shawn Michaels said, I'm still learning how to put matches together. I'm still learning about wrestling. He's like, these guys at NXT are blowing my mind with like things I never would have imagined.
It's an art.
Like, yeah. So when I heard that, I was like, I'm never going to stop learning. I'm never going to stop figuring out how to put things together. And to me, I mean, yeah, I can go back and look at, I'm not going to downplay my early matches because I still take pride in a lot of my.
What was your early character? Like, what was your first character?
The American Eagle.
Ooh, I like it.
Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Yeah. Let me see. I got my phone charged, so it's hard for me to get it, but there's the signal there.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Then I would go in, and then I would go into the crowd, and I would lock hands with a fan. And then we would
nice.
We would fly together.
Yeah.
And one thing I will be cocky about is my like character development. I just love creating characters and gimmicks. Awesome. Gimmick names. One thing I do at APW, the school I train at, is help the more advanced guys with character development and like their promo skills. I am not gonna ever say that I'm the best promo cutter, but like my matches, and that's what I was gonna get to, is I've started to kind of have a format for like every story. Like every story has a beginning, middle, and end, and I just try to format my matches. And now my promos like that. Like I was trying to come up with a new match every night, and I'd show up at the arena with a guy that I just met and we don't know anything about each other. And it happened. We'd be like, all right, so what do we do?
Yeah. Like to see that.
Well, maybe I'll put you in a headlock and then shit. Like that has really happened. And then that like the light went off to where I'm like, I need to figure out the basic format for a simple story to tell. And over the years, I've like elaborated those parts. Like now I can show up to a show, and if I'm wrestling Sam, I'm ready for him to be the bad guy. I'm ready for me to be the bad guy.
Whatever happens.
If somehow the gimmick is that Sam is he's got the unbeatable leg drop, then I'm going to work around trying to beat that leg up, the whole match. And I've done matches where like, okay, I have things I can do beginning, middle, and end to his legs. I have it, and just adding character on top of that.
It's all storytelling, right? Like it's all storytelling.
Yes.
And then adding whatever my opponent's character is and what he's going through. I mean, it's like I said, I go out there and I put on like a little mini movie every time I go out there.
So cool.
And so I don't like to try and choreograph everything.
Okay.
Because I find it easier to remember.
Like being the character.
I tell people I try to make my matches Three Little Pigs as opposed to like a chemistry equation or
Well, here's my question. Like when it comes to the technical part of wrestling, if you're not planning everything out, how does it work to make it flow so well when you're in the ring when you don't know what the other guy is doing? We're all here telling a story.
Secret.
Well, if you're
It wasn't K-fob.
Secret
the
stuff?
K with the fade,
K-fave.
it could.
First day.
Well, you got to remember the mistress, Miss K Fabe.
Okay. I mean, I've
There's many stories
heard
about Miss
many
Kayfabe.
times after realizing the Miz was big that I could do the promos, I could do the press. The wrestling itself gets tricky.
Yeah.
Well, there's many instances in wrestling where it hasn't taken a whole lot of wrestling skill to be successful. I mean, even Hulk Hogan will tell you that like his matches weren't great.
Look, man,
Yeah.
look. I still take my vitamins every day.
And that's the point. Mission accomplished, But to answer your question, like how everything flows so smoothly, there's different styles and different ways to train. I say,
you
like
guys talking during it, like do you get the whisper thing that you hear about?
I've wrestled matches without talking, but yeah, I mean, like verbal cues and communication in the middle of the match definitely helps. A lot of times you have to read the crowd and change it up. But me and you could have what we think is a great match in mind, but we could go out there and everyone's like, "Boo, this sucks."
Feeling it,
Yeah. And so we planned all these big moves where I'm dropping you on your head and you're flipping me over into the concrete, and we're like, "Oh, this is going to be awesome." And the fans are chanting boring. Guess what? I'm not going to let you throw me onto the concrete.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't think I'm going to have to drop you on your head. Like,
you gotta get them
let's
invested,
cut this
right?
out. Or in the other direction, me and Sam could just start punching each other and the crowd could just, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever." And then we could talk and be like, "Hey, let's say we call it home early. Like, I think we've done our job for the night. Maybe we don't need to drop each other on our heads."
Leave them wanting more.
You get it. You've watched enough wrestling. You get it.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
so
Stop.
but if you're trained,
Let's let our guests.
Okay,
sound
okay.
like-
No.
I was just going to
No,
ask you. You've been kind of alluding to what you've been doing now, but I don't think our viewers are aware, like what you've trained, you're working up to it, and what are you doing now? Like, where can people find you and learn about this?
well, I finally put all of my social media under Pinfall Wizard, so you can find me under there. I'm mostly on, Facebook and Instagram more than Twitter per se.
Which we will put all of your contact info so that any rando can come find you in with
Yes,
the show description.
please bring all the randos followers. That's what I need.
But what is this?
I mean-
what is this league? Like, where did
You mean
it?
the
How long have you
AAPW?
been with AAPW? How did you find them?
Dr. Rose
I-
says it's premier.
It's premiere, babe. It's the America's Academy where your dreams come true.
Man, don't even get me started on how hard Tara fell in love with Dusty Rhodes' boy.
American Nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, that's another funny Randy Savage story, is that Dusty had his usual match that he had, where he would, bip and bop you and spin the leg, get you with the elbow, daddy, and then it's good night. I come in there and we just house of fire.
It's gonna have fun, baby.
Yeah, apparently that's not what they wanted. Or I know he was wrestling Savage, and Savage was supposed to go over, and so Savage was trying to tell, whoa. It's really eerie. It's like you put on the filter for me for a second. Oh, that's magic. But for some reason, Randy had to tell Dusty that he was changing his matchup and that he had to go over. And Dusty said, well, baby, that's like telling Babe Ruth how to hit the ball. And Randy goes, well, babe, that's how we're doing it tonight.
What's the elixir with Jake and
Oh yeah, Jake the Snake match where they're meeting prior
in the locker
to
room
the match, and he's like, is he wanting
to make sure the poison's out?
Yeah,
right?
He's like, I don't want
yeah.
the snake. I better not have any.
Those were the y'all were watching
no, he had to take his elixirs before.
Yeah.
Were y'all watching the backstage stories?
Who knows?
But that's why Peacock and the network is so fun, because you can listen to a lot of those stories. And
honestly, I think it may have just been like deep nerd cuts that Sam found on YouTube.
But
I can't stress this enough, people. There was a lot of wrestling videos that I had to sit through for this guy to put out for me when we first started dating.
Wait, to get you to
I'll let y'all borrow.
You to put out for me.
I've got a big box of DVDs.
You had to watch wrestling videos?
I watched hours, y'all. Hours.
I've got a big box of DVDs. I'll let y'all borrow. I mean,
believe you don't have a DVD.
If you want to, let me just to show you what I'm talking about here. This
you
is
look like you're on the road doing Raw tonight somewhere.
This is on my to watch pile, because right now I have no streaming. All I have is DVDs right now, which is why I saved all these. All right.
Yes, here we go. There
Not
he is.
Just sexy
story.
Do
you want to see how many? I mean, there's another Randy Savage there.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
This is how many. This is not all of the Shawn Michaels DVDs they put out with, but here's how many I have. There's
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
This is just his WrestleMania matches.
Goddamn right it is, Pinfall.
Because he's Mr. WrestleMania.
That's right. Beat Undertaker.
A tiny little mini.
Oh my God! We might. That's
boy a drink. And then another one, another little set of matches. So
Made in heaven. Here we go.
That's right.
Well, here I have to ask you guys both something before we wrap up. We're running out of time. I want to hear what wrestler you both, and you guys look at wrestling in my favorite way. He does it. You study it. I'm an iconoclast myself. What wrestler do you think has the most compelling story personally, like in the business, like going through it? Because I know you like Mankind stuff. I know you like the Rock stuff. I mean, the fat chubby kid. What do they call him? Dewey. I mean, you like we both cried in the Andre doc when he went back home and died.
When we watched. Okay, so A&E last year released a bunch of those A&E biography, and it was all wrestlers. The one that I remember the most was Ultimate Warrior.
What about it?
Just good guy, tragic story.
Sucked at promos.
Just he sucked at promos, but
you just think about that body that.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna say Ultimate
the oils.
But didn't his daughters have to take the name Warrior?
I don't know. What about you?
His wife did. His wife changed her name.
Okay. Remember when he starts spouting off about the Tea Party and that kid gets in his face?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that clip when he starts giving us like racist talk at the college? Everybody's like,
Yeah,
okay.
I have.
I don't know. Who knows? What about you guys?
What do you think, Steve?
You're talking about storylines?
No, personal. Help me explain this. You're better with
I
words.
don't know what you're trying to say. So
The personal, the real story of the guy trying to get there.
well, why don't you give an example of what you're trying
I think
to
you
say?
did. I think you did. Words.
And I'd love to hear your example too. Like, what's your choice?
There's only one choice. Yeah. Got it all tied up. Yeah.
Ric Flair also had an interesting story coming up.
He was like a college football
bounced
stud?
around to like every sport.
How about Scott Hall shooting that guy in the head?
Ooh.
I have I guess I grew up. I guess what got me into wrestling was just like one of the things was hearing all the guys that like slept in their cars and like ate on the road and like
the road
just
dog.
Yeah, just basically grinded to make it. And that's kind of like, even as a kid, I told myself, like, I knew that's what I wanted to do as a kid. So I told myself, like, if you have that passion, you could make it. And so I've just been trying to focus on, I've focused more on wrestling than like actually trying to work a real job and get some security under myself. So, I mean, I know we're probably getting close to wrap up time. So I just wanted to, I felt compelled to include that I'm going to be taking a little break from wrestling to kind of focus more on me. And I figured this would be a good spot to talk to not just you guys, but talk to anyone about it.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I've only sort of been like half committed to wrestling because of that mindset where, oh, if I just work hard enough, I can make it to where I want to go. And unfortunately, I think I've taken that as far as I can, especially after this breakup and moving back to Austin. I'm not going to have anywhere to live after July 25th, and I can't find a job to help me live in Austin. And I'm not trying to make a pity party here, but just for people to kind of understand where I'm coming from. And I've just been trying to make this dream come true while living on a very, very low income budget. And I feel like the best thing for me to do right now, because time isn't really on my side. I know I don't have forever. I'm not giving up on my dream, but I feel like the smartest thing to do is take a break and recenter myself and get some money under me so that I can afford to go try out for WWE. I can afford to go try out for AEW. I'm beyond doubting my ability. I know I'm good enough.
You're the guy, dude.
Always
If anybody's
thought I
the
am.
fucking guy, you're the guy.
But it costs a lot of money to travel there. Sometimes it costs thousands of dollars for these tryouts. Like, just the fees and then traveling down there. Some of these training schools, Dustin Rhodes' school, cost thousands of dollars that I don't have. So I've never doubted my ability, but I feel like I've just, on the budget I've lived on, I can't excel further than I am now. So that's another reason why I'm dropping this title, because ACW Anarchy Championship Wrestling is moving on, but if I don't stop now, then I never will. And I need to, I'm not giving up. I just feel like this is the smart thing to do to
take a break,
make those dreams and those goals more attainable.
Well,
I don't hope that's not
breaking news.
yeah, sort of, but I hope it's not a downer or anything.
Absolutely
I'm just
not.
trying to.
Absolutely not. I am actually very honored that you would come on here and be as real and raw as you're being right now. No pun intended. But just to be honest with what's going on and where you're at. And
it's the hardest thing in show business to be a wrestler.
I commend you for that and for the amount of effort that you've put in, time, energy.
You're a natural, man.
Like that is incredible. And I don't know you very well, but from what I've seen and spoken to you and what Sam's told me, like I know that this isn't the end. Like absolutely
no way.
not the end.
Larry
And,
wants to say hi.
look at that.
Larry.
Larry believes. He's like,
He's a good boy. He's been very patient.
That's exactly what this show is for, is to just let people come on and just share their truth and share like what they want people to really know, not just an Instagram post, not just like a Friday, Saturday night out at the ring. Like, know who these people really are. And you just did that. And I just am blown away. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm proud that we could have you on today and you could share that. And I look forward to the future. And if there's anything that we can do and Sam can do, I'm going to volunteer him.
Well, no, first of all, Steve, you know you're welcome back on this thing.
You're
anytime.
An absolute friend of the show. And we want you
anytime,
back.
ever.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just
feels good the more I talk about it. And, you know,
yeah, man.
Didn't want to turn it, into, anything kind of.
If there's anything that we and like the people watching, it's been a tough like couple years.
2
Like
years.
regardless of whatever you're doing,
war.
regardless of whatever you're trying to accomplish, like this past couple of years have been just like a shit in the mouth,
beating us down.
honestly. So we're here. We're right here with you. I know Sam, if you want to elaborate a little bit, like you have wanted to just call it all off many times over the past 2 years. Like, what am I doing?
Okay,
like,
Steve O, to be honest, I've never talked about this on the show.
You haven't, no.
So I was working in politics. I worked for a guy named Julian Castro in 2019. Got her attention, started going out, started making her swoon, dragging her to Thanksgiving, whatever. Then 2020 rolls around and my boss, JC, is talking about cats getting the right to vote and trans men getting the right to abortion. So he's out. So I got to find a new job. I get Yang and Beto and looking for that Biden gig. Then this crazy phone call comes in from my mom telling us there's everybody's going to get sick.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ready to stay home? So I had to go through this entire, like I left acting 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I left stand-up like 10 years ago in order to, well, I'm good at politics and it's always there. But somehow, I don't know how. I mean, you'd be the first one to acknowledge lowest of all lows over that course of the
Elaborate
fact that,
on that, yeah.
I really just lost any sense of self because, Biden, he hired nobody from field because you couldn't go talk to folks because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
It got bad.
Yeah,
it got very bad. And the fact that like Walker kind of fell in my lap, like Steve, Tara, and line them up. Anybody else jokes around about Sam Slade mode is you just trip, fall ass backwards into it, get yourself out of it. But Walker fell into my lap, and then we had and then Love and Death, and back to Walker. But I mean, you have to understand the reason why I'm so happy to be on those sets is because I counted that dream out a long fucking time ago.
Oh man, and what an opportunity you got on Love and Death, man! Holy cow! Like, super happy for you,
dude. I all I think about from that set is the fact that if you can't tell Steve is a wrestler, there was like 2 back-to-back days where me and Robert sitting there at the desk all like, hey, we're not fucking it up too bad, are we? Are we fucking it up? Mm-hmm. Fucking Pepper and Schultz. And the door busts open in the courtroom, and Steve is in front of like everyone who's there to watch, just walking through like Stone Cold, just in the middle of like in front of everybody. So, I mean, we all have our lanes, we all have our roles, we all have what we're good at, but yeah, I mean, you can ask Tara how hard was I telling you every day? It was like I won the lottery with the Love and Death gig. Like,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we are so happy to hear that you're, well, I'm not going to speak for you. I'm so happy to hear.
I'm so happy.
Oh yeah, so happy in my life.
That you're taking the time to think it through. And
Dude,
that's like
Jericho
the best thing
did
that
it.
you
I mean,
can
come
do.
on.
Like, don't make
I
rash
just think
decisions. Yeah. You got it. You got this. You know what's right for you right now, and it's gonna pan out exactly the way it's supposed to.
First of all, Steve, you're too funny. You're too good of an actor. I mean, I saw you ash that cigarette in Liam's drink. But I mean, like you're not
you're the only one.
You're no Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? Like you're a talented fucking dude. I mean, you have that thing. I remember being like, hey, would you ever be interested in being a ranger? And he was like, nah, they'll make me cut my hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, remember I came up with, I was telling you about that.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy's willing to do what he needs to do to succeed.
But that's I think the crucial thing.
They actually never asked me if I wanted to be a ranger. They never.
I did.
Yeah.
No, I did.
Oh, you asked me.
I asked you. They did it. No,
But
I
you
asked you.
gonna
I said what? I said, fucking, you're the new like undercover Larry.
Oh,
Larry.
He's getting anxious. He's getting anxious.
Look at him.
Larry, you're a madman.
He's named after the Wolf Man.
Ah.
Yeah.
He's
Larry Talbot.
a pretty boy. No, Steve-O, hey, look, Tara and I are here. You're welcome on this show anytime.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You're a jack of all trades, and you have the same awful problem I have is when shit gets deep, you start doing bits with stuff around you.
I mean, shit. I was like, so like, you met me in one of like the most fulfilling times of my life. Like getting to say that I was living off of acting and wrestling was my dream.
I was doing acting and radio.
But you know, the acting died down, and even when the acting is busy, it takes forever to get the checks or the money.
Terry, you know anything about that?
No, do I ever?
But you know, that's not on anyone's fault. But,
Look, I think the important part is, Steve, is it brought an amazing new generation of people together after 2 years of a pandemic that probably would have never crossed each other's paths.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
But you know, I just I've got to just get some foundation, more security under me, so I can stop worrying about money. And really, I also need to just find some like happiness outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, just like I've up until, you know, the last couple days, I've tried to ignore the mindset of like, well, what if you don't make it? Or what if, you know, like I've spent 13 years thinking like, you can't say quit. You can't say you're not going to make it. You have to just keep going. You have to keep going.
Yeah.
But it's not giving up to me. This is just being smart.
It's not giving up.
It's just thinking smart and, you know,
It's taking a time out.
not giving up.
It's taking a time out to regroup.
Yeah. And everyone, God knows, or Allah, or Buddha,
Who else you
whoever.
What's that alien?
Spaghetti monster,
Whoa!
whoever.
Right. Makes me
Everyone, regardless of whatever profession you're trying to
Then I
pursue,
exploded away in that mirror.
or
on the
even
Phantom Zone.
like everyone needs a mental health break.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so long been ignored and been
Disrespected, kind of.
put on the shelf because you just feel this need to like keep going.
Prove yourself.
But what good are you if you are worn thin and
Broke
down? I mean, you just kind of fuck the rest of your life up by living that way. So like,
I can only half commit to what I'm doing right now. Like, let's say I do go to a AEW tryout right now. My boots are torn. My tights are tearing.
Right.
I'm not in the shape I would like to be in, you know,
Wow.
like I'm not ready to, I know I can do it. I just, like any job, I've always tried to like, I've always considered myself a master of the job interview.
mhm.
And I just know that I need to be at the top of my game before I can hope to get noticed.
Yeah.
You know, like we talked a little bit about like the business today and how, you know, like they're looking for models and celebrities and all these other people that aren't necessarily wrestlers or kids that grew up loving wrestling, I have a lot to compete with. So I need to like.
But you know your shit. They don't.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I do know. That I know that's one of my advantages, but to prove that to the higher ups, I have to be there. Like I have to.
Oh yeah, I know. Dude, I was the fat donut guy at the chili cook-off that became a ranger. I know. I mean, it's all luck.
Look at you now.
Now I'm not invited back to Walker.
Time traveling. You're a time traveling lawyer.
I got cut out of Love and Death. They put a tree there
in the courtroom.
Yeah, just they put a tree in that, like it had a little suit on him too.
Oh, I thought they were gonna give you like the blue dot.
I don't want to blow anything, but it's Marvel introducing Beta Ray Bill.
Oh my God.
Dude, hell yeah, I'm jealous.
I mean, Tara, you said how fulfilling that was. Tara would be
multiverse.
First to say how fulfilled I was coming home from. Mac Aston.
Absolutely.
My goodness, I can't thank you enough for being so open and honest on the show tonight. I mean, really vulnerable, really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a great show, and I just noticed the time. Like we've bogarted your time for the past like almost 2 hours.
We did almost 2 hours.
Well, don't let me like hold you guys.
You're such an easy
maybe that's
person
why.
to talk to.
Maybe that's why Larry's getting antsy.
There you go.
But I do have one question. I do have one question for Sam before we go, though. Have you seen Doctor Strange?
Take that as a yes.
I have. What's your question about it? Yes, I have.
Did you also feel a little like underwhelmed at Elizabeth Olsen? Like,
whoa,
like
no. I wasn't overwhelmed by Lizzie. I was overwhelmed by
underwhelmed. He said underwhelmed.
Like
being on set with her, like being so close to the actual person.
No,
no,
I ate it up. I ate all of it up. I was very stoked about all of it. I'm like,
he ate the shit.
I mean,
I loved it.
I went into it saying Team Wanda. Here's what I was underwhelmed about. Here's your Illuminati and they're dead.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is a weird flex.
I guess it's safe. This is like 2 or 3 weeks after it's been out or longer, so it's safe. Yeah, I did not like how she just squashed the Illuminati like that.
It was a weird.
That's a wrestling
on
term
Marvel's
for you.
part of like we're gonna.
There's a wrestling term for you.
How long
Scarlet
have we been
Witch
waiting for X-Men
out
Four?
Illuminati.
Say it again. I'm so sorry. Sam was.
Oh, it's a wrestling term. Scarlet Witch jobbed out the Illuminati.
Yes.
It was very disappointing, but just like once you start to be around, once you've been around someone that long, it just was like the scenes with her in it. I was like, I can see her just in a person.
Come on, Liz, let's break it up. Let's go.
Yeah.
I thought she was the best part of the movie, to be honest.
I do.
Yeah, I was not expecting.
Movie, not.
I tried to avoid a lot of footage and things like that, so I had no idea she was the main.
I know you wouldn't watch a trailer. I tried to corner him on 2.
I've tried to not watch
trailers. Would not watch them. I go, what, you expected Maul? What was your before we go real quick, what was the most underwhelming part of the old DS2 for you?
Honestly, America Chavez, hear me out. I love the character and I love the representation. I hate how they used her though, that she's just this like means to an end kind of.
What do you mean?
But
yeah,
they're like, she's so important. Like everyone drop what you're doing, get involved, protect her, try to get her, whatever side you're on. Like the whole universe seemed to just like stop and be like, America Chavez. Then once the end of the movie came and it was all resolved, they just sent her to school. Like what? I don't know.
Sent her to the monastery.
They
sent her to the monastery to learn sparkle hands.
I'm like, what? And like I wanted them to explain more about why she's important, and that may be coming.
She
like
has lesbian mom,
right?
Yes, she has lesbian moms. Thank you for reminding.
Alien lesbian moms, and somehow she's named America.
Yeah.
Chavez.
So I thought there was
what universe
to
is
do
that?
So much more with that character. Like if you're gonna introduce a new character that's that integral to the plot, like blow me away. Like,
what
what
wasn't there
can
to
she
blow
do?
you away? She took us to the pizza ball.
Okay,
place.
so over half the movie, 3/4 of the movie, she can't control her powers.
Right.
So it's like, what good is this? And then the second half of the movie, she can control her powers, but she still needs like Doctor Strange and Wong to like make anything happen. Like I thought she was supposed to be like power equivalent to the Scarlet Witch.
She's young.
You asked my opinion.
I'm talking to you about your opinion.
So I just that was kind of like my not really a letdown. I don't want to. You said letdown.
No, I said underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed. You said underwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. I was just confused as to like, what are we doing here? And
your thoughts on Charles?
Well, I'm a huge.
Oh yes, God, that I popped so hard.
Yeah, I'm a big X-Men fan. That was growing up. Like, I wasn't really into comic books at all, but I loved the X-Men cartoons.
Those X-Men movies,
and
yeah,
all the movies too.
Okay.
So just to hear that one like 1.5 second like old theme song, and to see him in the yellow wheelchair, it was so cool. But even that, when he goes to like that intermittent dream world, where he's trying to like save her, and then
with his turtle, with his Steve Jobs.
I was like, what? Like,
I'm feeling like it's going very slow compared to like the last. Well, I guess the first phase of Marvel was like what, 15 years of movies, you know. But so far, it seems like the new Avengers are just a bunch of teenage girls and Shang-Chi. Which now I'm thinking about
and Rudd and Mackie.
But where are they? Where are they?
Well, that Disney Plus. Little to explain that little Disney Plus.
It's just so weird.
Oh, that's right.
Like,
but I'm just saying, like,
watching these shows to understand anything.
I mean, all of them.
Right. I'm just thinking, like, I'm running down in my head the list of like new characters.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be this Shang-Chi with all these younger girls. Like babysitting, like
gonna play like Chow on The Hangover.
Yeah.
I'm
excited.
I think that'd be funny though.
For She-Hulk. She-Hulk looks good.
It looks very good.
But
I'm not gonna see that for a while.
I'm taking the ride.
I'm into it. And just one more note: you see Kang the Conqueror's world for like 5 seconds,
in
when she's panning through all the they go into Paint World. Yeah, I was in the theater. I went, oh my god. That was him.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Weirdos at Home. Steve O Reno's been with us tonight. Tara Brown. I'm still Sam Slade.
Marathon of a show.
Hell yeah. Great show. Thank you so much for coming on, Steve O. We'll
thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Up soon. And that's.
We won't make it the last.
Absolutely.
That's it.